Now, when I put the poll up on my Discord, I was expecting a sports anime to win, mainly because every entry had a sports tag. Kind of expected an actual sport, not tanks. But the people have spoken, so that's what we're getting. I really have no knowledge on military vehicles and tanks and the like, so all I really know is the very little I've played of a certain online tank game that I'm going to leave nameless because I'm not sponsored or anything. Although if they want to, send me an email. Now, from knowing a little bit of what this show is, and the bits and pieces I've picked up from overhearing conversations, it's going to be kind of like K-On!, but with less music, more explosions, and some armour penetration. But if you want to start this episode off right with a high explosive to the rear armour, then I hope you enjoyed, and if you make it all the way through, leave a like. But time to get the game started. Let's watch some Girls&Panzer. Okay, a V formation. And a wide open field of view there. They're going for side or rear. So we're not getting some actual scouting. It might get a bit warm inside of tanks. I'm not sure what the living conditions are. I did see that this was a first-person view from the tank itself. God, needs to up the frame rate slightly. I'm getting motion sick. Nice mixture of light and heavy tanks. I'm going to forgive the low resolution texture on the floor there because the rest of it looks quite good. I think we know. Hello. I think we know which tank I'd be driving. You might want to, mind your head slightly when the turret is going around. It's doing a relatively good job of showing a bit of the weight and the lack of suspension. Great naming convention. Operation Sneaky. As opposed to Operation Shoot Them with the Big Gun. And it'd be interesting to see what the various designs of the tank crews are, because we got a little bit as it flashed through. The thing is, I don't know how in danger anyone is here. Like, getting hit by a few of those rounds would delete you pretty quickly. But is anyone actually in danger? Come on, dial in those shots. You're letting down the British Armoured Division. Oh no, we have another Yui on our hands. I've gotten out of bed in a less sophisticated manner. What was this, your day off or something? So you start off the episode. Yeah, make sure it's locked. Start off the episode with some action, getting straight into. This is the world of tank battling. Then take it back a few steps. So, for all intents and purposes, the world is relatively normal. Look where you're going when you're walking, because if you're taken out by a street sign, I don't fare well for your future. Some fairly relatively normal school life. It really wants to hammer down the point that she's a bit of a klutz. Don't tell me she's hearing voices already. Do people just get lunch invitations this easily? That's never happened. That's not realistic. They'd probably be in for a few fun moments, just hanging around her for a bit. Getting the work in there early. Yeah, I don't think she'd get a spare lunch should she have tripped over. Five? They are expecting the worst straight away. What is with the dark shadows? I don't really have much in the way to say about this school because you haven't been really shown the rest of it. It's just here's lunch, here's a classroom. Oh no! I can feel why she was bringing up the boyfriend 5 timing and all that earlier. She is very animated in her reactions. The having them two together will just make each of their exaggerations worse. So are we just expecting average high school life with tanks? Not the expression I was immediately thinking was going to be on display. You don't have a choice in the matter. She's specifically trying to escape that life. And the fact that she's died inside. Trying to evade the question about her parents. Does she come from a line of good tank commanders? In this state, will she basically do anything anyone says? Don't think there's much going on inside. They don't do many checks to make sure anyone is actually ill, do they? They haven't. I feel like this group of friends has been thrust together far too quickly. They haven't grown the bond that usually comes from these kind of shows. There has to be a reason why she was called upon specifically. Yeah, I thought there would be something. Well, having come from that kind of family, I'm guessing it would have been drilled into her since as soon as she could say the word for tank. I think many people usually practice it. But considering how against the idea she is, what is her home life with her parents? Do you think they'll be pleased with getting into the sport? She has very piercing eyes, that glasses one. Or watching a movie. There have been some wacky tank designs throughout the years. Can I be expecting some military march and music like that as well? Yep, you can stay awake. No, she can't. Not sure how they are intertwined. But then again, these propaganda films are not exactly light-handed about it. I think we've seen at least a few who would sign up. Any school that uses actual pyrotechnics and the like for an assembly. No, you're going to come along with me and say that I can turn it down. Don't get enthralled. Free school meals. Yep, cool. I like that one. I like that one. Actually, yeah, no, I'd sign up. Screw the dangers of fighting in a tank battle. Meal vouchers and not having to turn up to classes all too often. A bit of a difference. I'm sure there are many crossover skills, though, with flower arrangement. She has stumbled into a pseudo-leadership position here, completely against her will. Peer pressure is a hell of a thing. Ah. She is suffering from PTSD. I mean, they don't have to. Yeah, they want to do the Sun Shadow, so why not? They don't have to be together all the time. Not sure I like that way of thinking. It's fine being accommodating, but there should be a limit. There's some good helmet choices. Really? Just someone loudly proclaiming about shooting the cannons was enough to startle her. They're not going to let her out of it, are they? Disappointed. She may come from a lineage that are good with tanks, but it doesn't mean that the entire school should hinge on her joining. Yeah, that's my extortion. Now, not wanting to do it and whatever she's gone through in the past is fine, but she's always going to be held back by it if she's not going to do any therapy or anything to overcome the issues. I'm not sure being thrust into joining up like this is all too good for her right now. But then again, I want to see some cool tanks. Is she self-doubting her own abilities to the point where she hinders herself? Yep, ignore any emotional troubles with ice cream. Tried and tested method. And then there's that one in the background. Does she not have a group? And if it's only just being brought into the school, what is the costs of getting it all started up? Unless they found some old... Yeah, it looks like old equipment. Do you see anything you like? Didn't take much for her to get invested. It's gonna need some new treads. How do you get such... Oh, that... I wasn't expecting that. That brings my question even more. How do you get such a large open space to practice tank driving in a limited area like that? So far we've seen someone run away from their family to join up to a school that where they felt they would be safe, and then being forced against their will to get in a tank. Mechanics. How much are they going to get into the maintenance and repair of the vehicles, or how to actually control and reload? I feel like I need to brush up on my history of armoured warfare vehicles. What was that sentence? Why did it look like that tank was underwater? Are we getting shown her backstory so quickly? What is the prize for winning this grand championship that the school is so desperate to win? If they're willing to give away free school meal vouchers and tell them, yeah, you don't actually have to go to class, it must be at least a bit of a big deal. But if you were given your own tank to start training and playing around with at school, would you rather a light and nimble, low-armoured variant, or basically a almost stationary fortress? All I know is that the infirmary may be busy for the foreseeable future. And that one girl who I don't think we've been showing off too much just yet may need to be treated for narcolepsy. I don't think I'd want her in any position of the tank, in case she falls asleep. But what an introductory episode that was. Getting a bit of school life, okay, yeah, fair. Getting a shot of the tanks. The reveal at the end, actually we're on a... well, it's not an aircraft carrier, it's a city carrier. Does that mean they've got production factories to make ammo also on board? But one thing I kind of did enjoy with this was the game of point out the main character doesn't quite work because she is an ordinary schoolgirl. And then you had some of the others that were being shown off there who like to accessorize slightly. But if you enjoyed this episode, let me know. I'm not exactly going to stop because it was quite highly voted for. I think actually one of the most voted shows on Discord so far. So, you better all watch along. And I'm sure at some points there's going to be statements like, oh, I like that tank. I wonder how thick its armour plating is. And then hopefully there'd be at least one or two of you that can provide the answers. But make sure to join me again, so that we can watch this strangely comical and yet possibly highly dangerous sport unfold. See you in the next one. If you want to join my crew and run the battlefield and probably blow up in the process, then join on to my Patreon, because there you can join Sal, Raywin, Alejikant, Arthea, Denamet1997, Shiwan, Jennifer Rojas, Mecha, Stinsfire, Big Boy, Dark Shadow 7899, Mats and everyone else. Then hopefully together we can fix up the broken workshop that is my channel.